I accidentally married my rival. Chapter 1. I woke up married to my worst enemy. If someone had told Ethan Brooks that he'd wake up married before the end of the week, he would have laughed. If they'd told him the groom would be Noah Carter, he would have called the police. Because Noah wasn't just another influencer. He was Ethan's greatest rival. For 3 straight years, they had competed over everything: brand deals, follower counts, magazine covers, even most attractive creator of the year. Neither of them could stand losing, and neither of them could stand each other, which made what happened next completely unbelievable. But before we get to the wedding, let's talk about the disaster that started it all. The annual Creator Summit was the biggest influencer event in the country. Thousands of creators, hundreds of luxury brands, millions of dollars in sponsorship deals. For Ethan, this wasn't a vacation. It was war. He adjusted the collar of his navy blazer as he stepped out of his taxi, immediately greeted by flashing cameras. "Ethan, over here. Smile. One photo." He flashed his signature smile, waved to the crowd, and walked toward the entrance. Then the cheering suddenly became much louder. Ethan sighed. "I don't even have to turn around." His manager, Claire, smiled nervously. "You really don't." A sleek black SUV pulled up behind them. The crowd erupted. Out stepped Noah Carter. Tall, infuriatingly handsome, perfectly styled dark brown hair, that irritatingly confident smile. He looked like he'd walked straight out of a luxury fashion campaign. Noah spotted Ethan almost immediately. Their eyes met across the entrance. Neither looked away. A reporter rushed between them, microphone raised. "This is incredible. The internet's favorite rivals are finally together. Any chance we'll see a collaboration this weekend?" "No." The answer came from both men at exactly the same time. The crowd burst into laughter. Noah smirked. "Still copying me, Brooks?" Ethan folded his arms. "I answered first. You wish. You've been wishing for years." The reporters loved it. Cameras clicked nonstop. Claire pinched the bridge of her nose. "This summit hasn't even started." Noah's manager muttered from the other side. "And I already need a vacation." The two rivals continued glaring until an event coordinator hurried over. "Good news. Due to a booking issue, our VIP networking panel has one final seat." Ethan nodded. "Great. So you'll be sharing it." Silence. Ethan blinked. "Sharing it." The coordinator smiled, completely unaware of the danger. "With Noah Carter?" "No. Absolutely not," Noah replied at the same time. "I'm afraid there aren't any other seats." Ethan and Noah exchanged another look. Neither of them was willing to back out. Not when every major sponsor would be watching. Noah adjusted his cufflinks and smiled. A smile that always meant trouble. "Try not to embarrass yourself, Brooks." Ethan smiled back, just as sweetly. "I was about to give you the same advice." Neither of them realized that by the end of the night, they'd be waking up as husbands. The VIP networking panel was a disaster before it even began. Ethan took the seat on the far left. Noah deliberately chose the one right beside him. There were other chairs. Ethan muttered. "I like this one." "You like being annoying. I've been told it's one of my best qualities." The moderator smiled awkwardly. "Let's begin." For the next hour, they answered questions from brands and aspiring creators. Everything was fine, until the moderator asked, "If you had to work with one creator in this room, who would it be?" Ethan and Noah exchanged a look. Neither smiled. "I'd rather retire," Ethan answered. The audience burst into laughter. Noah nodded thoughtfully. "That's the smartest thing he said all day." More laughter. By the time the panel ended, clips of their banter were already going viral. Their managers looked exhausted. Claire sighed. "You two just earned 5 million views. I don't even get paid enough for this." Noah's manager groaned. That evening, the summit hosted a luxury rooftop party for invited creators. Open bar. Live music. City lights stretching for miles. Claire grabbed Ethan's arm before he walked in. "Please." "What?" "Don't fight with Noah." "I won't. And don't let him trick you into drinking too much." Ethan looked offended. "I have self-control." 3 hours later. He did not. Across the rooftop, Noah wasn't doing much better. Someone challenged them to a rival's shot challenge. The crowd loved the idea. 1 shot each. No backing out. Ethan pointed at Noah. "I'm still more popular." Noah raised his glass. "Keep dreaming." 1 shot became 3. 3 became 6. Soon they were laughing over things neither would remember. Someone suggested karaoke. Someone else suggested dancing. At some point, Ethan found himself with an arm around Noah's shoulders. "You're Actually funny. Noah blinked. You're less annoying than usual. Don't ruin the moment. I'm trying. The crowd cheered and recorded everything. Neither of them noticed. Neither of them noticed someone joking. You two should just get married already. The crowd laughed. Noah and Ethan laughed even harder. Then, in their drunken confidence, they walked toward the brightly lit wedding chapel attached to the luxury resort. Neither had any idea it wasn't just for decoration. The next morning, Ethan woke up with the worst headache of his life. Sunlight poured through the curtains. His mouth tasted like regret. What happened? He reached for his phone. It wasn't there. Instead, his hand touched warm skin. He froze. Slowly, very slowly. He turned his head. Noah Carter was asleep beside him. One arm was draped across Ethan's waist. His face was buried against Ethan's shoulder. Ethan stared. No. Noah blinked awake. His blue-gray eyes met Ethan's. For 3 long seconds, neither spoke. Then they both screamed. Why are you in my bed? I should be asking you. They scrambled to opposite sides of the king-sized bed, breathing hard. Ethan looked down. They were both still wearing yesterday's clothes. Okay, he muttered. That's slightly reassuring. Noah rubbed his temples. I remember the party. I remember the shots. I remember karaoke. I don't. Before either of them could think further, Ethan's phone started vibrating on the bedside table. Then Noah's. Then the hotel room phone. All at once, Claire's name flashed across Ethan's screen. He answered. Claire. Her voice exploded through the speaker. Do not open social media. Too late. Noah had already picked up his phone. His face went completely pale. Ethan. What? With trembling hands, Noah turned the screen around. The top trending post had over 12 million views. It was a selfie, taken last night. Noah and Ethan were grinning like idiots. Between them, a marriage certificate. The caption read, Guess we're husbands now. Don't tell our managers. Red heart ring. Ethan laughed. A nervous, confused laugh. That's fake. It isn't. Someone edited it. They didn't. His stomach dropped. Then there was a loud knock at the hotel door. Claire burst in. Behind her stood Noah's manager and a wedding officiant. The elderly man smiled warmly. Good morning. I hope the newlyweds slept well. The room fell silent. Ethan blinked once, twice, then slowly looked at Noah. Tell me we didn't. Noah swallowed. I don't think I can. Chapter 2, 6 months of pretending. What do you mean we're legally married? Ethan stared at the officiant as if the man had personally ruined his life. The elderly gentleman adjusted his glasses. You filled out the paperwork yourselves. We were drunk. You were very enthusiastic. Claire covered her face. Noah's manager, James, let out a long sigh. You even insisted on reading your own vows. Noah blinked. We had vows. James pulled out his phone. Oh, you had vows. He pressed play. A shaky video appeared. Drunk Ethan pointed dramatically at Noah. I still think you're the most annoying man alive. The crowd laughed. But if I have to marry someone tonight. He leaned closer. I guess you'll do. Video. Noah grinned. My standards clearly dropped. Everyone cheered as they exchanged rings. Present day, Ethan buried his face in a pillow. I want to disappear. You and me both, Noah muttered. Claire finally cleared her throat. There is more bad news. Both men looked up. The marriage certificate was automatically registered this morning. Silence. James nodded grimly. It's legal. Ethan stood so fast he nearly tripped. Fine. We'll get divorced today. We can't. What do you mean we can't? Claire placed her tablet on the bed. The headline made Ethan's heart sink. Rival influencers secretly marry. The internet's favorite enemies are now husbands. 38 million views. Still climbing. Comments poured in by the second. I knew they had chemistry. Enemies to lovers is real. Best plot twist ever. James rubbed his temples. Half your sponsors are celebrating. The other half want interviews. Claire sighed. If you announce a divorce less than 24 hours later, every brand involved in this summit will pull out. Ethan slowly looked at Noah. So, Noah groaned. So, we're trapped. James nodded. At least for a while. Neither of them liked the sound of that. Not one bit. 2 hours later, Ethan and Noah sat across from each other in a conference room. Between them lay a thick document. Claire pushed it forward. It's a 6-month marriage agreement. Ethan frowned. You actually made a contract? In 15 minutes, she replied proudly. James nodded. It's some of our best work. Noah flipped through the pages. Rule 1. Smile during public appearances. Ethan rolled his eyes. Rule 2. No arguing in front of cameras. Impossible, Noah said. Claire ignored him. Rule 3. Attend brand events together. James added. Rule 4. Move into the same apartment. Both men looked up. What? It's the only way people will believe you're married, James explained. Ethan nearly choked. I am not living with him. Noah pointed across the table. I don't want him touching my coffee machine. I don't even like your coffee. You've never had it. I can tell. Claire clapped once. Wonderful. Keep this energy for private. 3 days later, a moving truck stopped outside Noah's luxury penthouse. Ethan climbed out of the car, carrying one suitcase. I packed light. Claire looked at the single suitcase. You own 40 pairs of shoes. The rest are arriving later. Noah opened the front door. He looked Ethan up and down. You're late. I'm exactly on time. You were supposed to arrive 5 minutes ago. That's still on time. Their managers exchanged tired glances. The penthouse was stunning. Floor-to-ceiling windows. A massive kitchen. 2 offices. A home gym. And 1 master bedroom. Ethan stopped walking. No. Claire smiled nervously. The guest room is being renovated. When will it be finished? She looked away. Eventually. Noah sighed. So we're sharing. For now. Ethan grabbed a decorative pillow and threw it at Claire. She dodged it easily. You'll thank me later. I absolutely won't. That evening, they filmed their first married couple vlog. The comments poured in instantly. They're adorable. They're definitely in love. Look how naturally they tease each other. Ethan read the comments in disbelief. He looked at Noah. Noah looked back. Then they both said at the same time. They're completely wrong. Unfortunately, neither of them noticed how naturally they had smiled at each other while saying it. Living together was a disaster. On the first morning, Ethan walked into the kitchen, only to find Noah using his favorite coffee mug. That's mine. No, it isn't. It has my initials on it. Noah looked down. The mug clearly read EB. He quietly placed it back. I knew that. You absolutely didn't. By day 3, they argued over everything. The thermostat, the TV remote, who finished the cereal, even whose turn it was to take out the trash. Yet the cameras loved them. Their married morning routine video reached 10 million views overnight. Fans filled the comments. They're basically an old married couple. The bickering is adorable. You can't fake this chemistry. Ethan nearly threw his phone. It's not chemistry. Noah smirked. Sounds like something a man in love would say. Oh, keep dreaming. That weekend, a luxury furniture brand invited them to film a couple's campaign. The photographer smiled. Stand closer. They did. A little closer. They sighed and obeyed. Perfect. Noah, put your hand on Ethan's waist. Both froze. No. You have to, the photographer insisted. You play husbands. Noah slowly rested a hand on Ethan's waist. Even through the fabric of his sweater, Ethan could feel the warmth. His heart skipped. Just once. Nothing more. The camera clicked. Beautiful. Now look at each other. Their eyes met. For a second, the teasing disappeared. Neither looked away. Neither spoke. Excellent, the photographer said. That's the look. Ethan stepped back immediately. We're done. As they headed for the exit, Noah cleared his throat. You were blushing. I was not. You definitely were. It was hot in there. Noah laughed. There was air conditioning. Ethan had no comeback. That annoyed him almost as much as the smile still tugging at Noah's lips. Neither of them realized that someone had secretly taken a behind-the-scenes photo, and by morning, the entire internet would be convinced their marriage had become real. Chapter 3. Why is my fake husband so attractive? By the second month, Ethan had learned one dangerous truth. Living with Noah Carter was surprisingly easy. Annoying? Absolutely. Easy? Unfortunately, yes. Every morning, Noah made coffee. Every evening, Ethan cooked dinner. Neither had agreed to this routine. It had simply happened. You burned the toast again, Ethan said. It adds flavor. It adds smoke. Noah grinned. You still ate it. I was hungry. And you love me. Ethan pointed his fork at him. Finish that sentence and you'll be eating alone. Noah laughed. Their banter had become effortless. Too effortless. One afternoon, they attended a charity gala. The moment they entered, cameras surrounded them. Husbands. Over here. Smile. Noah casually slipped an arm around Ethan's waist. It was for the cameras. Just for the cameras. At least. That's what Ethan kept telling himself. The The flashbulbs popped nonstop. Then a famous actress approached Noah with a bright smile. "I've wanted to meet you for ages." She touched Noah's arm while laughing at something he said. Ethan folded his arms. He looked away. He definitely wasn't watching. Not at all. Claire quietly stepped beside him. "Jealous? What? You've been glaring at her for 3 minutes." "I have not. You just crushed your paper cup." Ethan looked down. The cup was completely flattened. "Oops." Across the room, Noah excused himself and walked over. "You okay?" "I'm fine." "You don't look fine." "I said I'm fine." Noah studied him for a moment. Then a slow smile spread across his face. "You were jealous." Ethan nearly choked. "I was not." "You absolutely were." "I don't care who talks to you." "Really? Really?" Noah leaned in slightly. Close enough that only Ethan could hear. "Good. Why?" "Because I told her I was already hopelessly devoted to my husband." Ethan forgot how to breathe. His ears turned red. Noah smiled, clearly pleased with himself. Then he walked away before Ethan could answer. Claire watched the whole exchange. She shook her head. "Oh, what? You're both in serious trouble." Ethan frowned. "What does that mean?" Claire only smiled. "You'll figure it out." Ethan wasn't sure he wanted to. A week later, a luxury travel brand flew Ethan and Noah to a private island resort for a couples campaign. The catch? Only one beachfront villa. Claire gave Ethan an apologetic smile. "They're fully booked." "They're lying," Ethan muttered. Noah picked up the room key. "Come on, husband. I'm only following because my suitcase is in your hand." Inside, the villa was breathtaking. Ocean views. Private pool. King-sized bed. One bed. Ethan looked at Claire. "You enjoy watching me suffer." "A little." That evening, they filmed sunset photos on the beach. The photographer frowned. "You two look too stiff." "We're rivals," Ethan replied. "Your husbands." The photographer sighed. "Noah, stand behind him." Noah stepped close. Very close. His chest brushed Ethan's back. Warm hands settled lightly on Ethan's waist. Ethan's heartbeat stumbled. "Relax," Noah whispered. "I am relaxed." "No, you're vibrating." The photographer grinned. "Perfect. Stay exactly like that." Click, click, click. After the shoot, they returned to the villa in silence. The air between them felt different. Neither knew what to say. Later that night, a storm rolled in. Thunder shook the windows. The power flickered, then went out. The villa fell into darkness. "Oh, great," Ethan muttered. A flash of lightning lit the room. For a split second, he saw Noah standing only a step away. Another clap of thunder made Ethan jump. "You hate storms?" Noah asked. "I don't hate them. You just nearly climbed into my lap." "I slipped." "You were standing still." Ethan opened his mouth, closed it again. Noah chuckled softly. Then, without teasing, he reached for Ethan's hand. "It's okay." The words were quiet, gentle. His fingers lingered just long enough to steady Ethan. Neither pulled away immediately. When the lights finally returned, they realized they were still standing close enough to hear each other's breathing. Neither moved, until Ethan cleared his throat and stepped back. Neither mentioned it again, but neither forgot it either. The trip ended without another word about the storm. But something had changed. Their arguments were shorter. Their smiles lasted longer. And Ethan had developed a dangerous habit. He noticed Noah. The way Noah absent-mindedly hummed while making coffee. The way he rolled up his sleeves when he cooked. The way he always reached out to steady Ethan before he walked down a staircase. Little things. Things Ethan definitely shouldn't be noticing. One evening, they filmed a live Q&A from the apartment. Questions flooded the screen. "Who's the Messier husband?" "Noah," Ethan answered. "Lies," Noah said. "He leaves mugs everywhere." "I leave one mug." "You left one in the bathroom." It was a long story. The chat exploded with laughing emojis. Another question appeared. "What's your favorite thing about your husband?" The room fell silent. Ethan and Noah looked at each other. Claire, standing behind the camera, mouthed, "Answer it." Noah smiled first. "He's stubborn." Ethan frowned. "That's your favorite thing?" "It means he never gives up." Ethan blinked. He hadn't expected that. His turn. He looked at Noah. Really looked at him. Then smiled without thinking. "He's kinder than people realize." Noah's playful grin faded. For a moment, neither remembered they were live. The comments flew by too fast to read. They looked at each other. "That wasn't acting." "I'm crying." Just then, Noah's phone buzzed. He glanced at the screen. His smile disappeared. James had sent only one message. "Emergency." Don't end the live stream. Smile and keep talking. A second later, Claire's phone rang. She answered, listened for a few seconds, then went completely pale. Ethan muted his microphone. What happened? Claire slowly turned her tablet around. A leaked document filled the screen. At the top, in bold letters, were the words, "Confidential Marriage Agreement." The 6-month fake marriage contract. Someone had leaked every page, and over 2 million people had already seen it.
This story is brought to you by Smiles That Linger. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Now let's dive right back in.
Chapter 4. When Pretending Became Real. Within minutes, the leaked contract was everywhere. Every entertainment page, every gossip account, every social media platform. Fake marriage exposed? The live stream chat exploded. Please tell us it's fake. Were you lying to everyone? Say something. Claire quickly ended the broadcast. The apartment fell silent. Noah tossed his phone onto the couch. So this is bad. Ethan let out a dry laugh. Bad? We're trending in 12 countries. James rushed in moments later, carrying a laptop. We've got a bigger problem. He placed it on the coffee table. Several sponsors had paused upcoming campaigns. Reporters were already waiting outside the apartment. Claire rubbed her temples. We have one chance to save this. Ethan frowned. I'm not going to lie. Claire looked at him. You won't. Both Ethan and Noah stared. She continued. The contract was real. Right. But feelings can't be written into a contract. The room went quiet. James slowly nodded. If people believe you've genuinely fallen for each other since then, the story changes. Ethan looked at Noah. Noah was already looking at him. Neither spoke. Because neither had an answer. Claire noticed the silence. Then she smiled. Oh, what? Ethan asked. You two didn't deny it. Deny what? That you've fallen for each other. Both men opened their mouths. Nothing came out. Claire folded her arms. I knew it. No, you don't, Ethan protested. You've been smiling differently. James pointed at Noah. And you've stopped calling Ethan Brooks. Noah blinked. Have I? You've been calling him Ethan for weeks. Neither of them had noticed. The realization hung in the air. Awkward. Heavy. Real. Just then, someone knocked on the apartment door. Not a polite knock. A loud, urgent one. James peeked through the security camera. His expression changed instantly. What now? Noah asked. James sighed. It's Victoria Hayes. The investigative reporter? James nodded. She says she has proof your marriage started as a lie. He paused. And proof that one of you is hiding real feelings. The apartment fell completely silent. No one knew which part was more terrifying. Noah opened the door before anyone could stop him. Victoria Hayes stood outside with a cameraman. She smiled politely. I only need 5 minutes. You've already taken enough of our time, Ethan replied. Victoria wasn't offended. Instead, she held up a folder. I know the marriage contract was real. Claire's face tightened. But that's not why I'm here. Noah crossed his arms. Then why are you here? Victoria looked from Noah to Ethan. Because I think something changed. Silence. She continued. When this started, you couldn't stand each other. Accurate, Ethan muttered. But now, Victoria said, you look at each other differently. Noah laughed. You're reading too much into it. Am I? She pulled out several printed photographs. One showed Noah fixing Ethan's tie before an interview. Another showed Ethan quietly placing his jacket over Noah's shoulders after an outdoor event. Another captured them laughing backstage when they thought no one was watching. None of the moments had been staged. None of them were for the cameras. Ethan stared at the photos. He hadn't even realized anyone had been there. Victoria smiled gently. You forgot the audience. For the first time, she didn't sound like a reporter. She sounded honest. You can fake affection. She placed the final photo on the table. It showed Ethan asleep during a flight. His head rested on Noah's shoulder. Noah wasn't asleep. He was smiling down at him. A soft smile. The kind no camera should have seen. The room was completely silent. James whispered, I never saw that picture. Neither had Noah. He picked it up slowly. I remember this flight. Ethan looked at him. So do I. Victoria closed the folder. I'm not interested in exposing your marriage anymore. She smiled. I think the real story is watching two rivals accidentally fall in love. With that, she turned and walked away. The apartment remained silent long after the door closed. Ethan finally spoke. You smiled at me? Noah looked embarrassed. I guess I did. Ethan's heart skipped. Neither joked. Neither teased. because neither knew how to explain what was happening anymore. The apartment felt unusually quiet after Victoria left. Claire was the first to speak. Tomorrow morning. Live interview. Ethan frowned. With who? Every major network. Noah groaned. So the whole country. Pretty much. James looked at both of them. You have one decision to make. What decision? Ethan asked. The truth. Neither answered. The next morning, bright studio lights shone directly into their faces. Millions were watching live. The host smiled warmly. So, let's settle the biggest question on the internet. He held up the leaked contract. Was your marriage fake? Ethan looked at Noah. Noah looked back. Then Ethan faced the cameras. The contract was real. The studio became silent. But the feelings weren't. Gasps echoed across the audience. The host blinked. I'm sorry, what? Noah smiled softly. When we signed that contract, we couldn't stand each other. A few people laughed. I thought Ethan was the most stubborn person I'd ever met. I still am. Ethan interrupted. You are. The audience laughed again. Noah continued. But somewhere between pretending to be husbands. He glanced at Ethan. I stopped pretending. The room fell completely still. Ethan felt his heartbeat racing. This wasn't part of any plan. Noah had gone completely off script. He turned toward Ethan. I don't know exactly when it happened. Maybe while arguing over coffee. A laugh rippled through the audience. Maybe during that island trip. His smile softened. Or maybe it happened so slowly that I never noticed. He took a steady breath. I just know. I don't want this marriage to end. Every camera swung toward Ethan. The host didn't say a word. No one did. The entire studio waited. Ethan looked into Noah's eyes. There were no cameras anymore. No reporters. No audience. Just Noah. The man who had once been his greatest rival. Now, something much more. Ethan smiled. The warm, genuine smile Noah knew so well. Then he reached over and quietly laced his fingers with Noah's. I don't want it to end either. The audience erupted into applause. Outside the studio, phones across the world lit up with the same headline. The fake marriage just became real. Chapter 5. We were never meant to be rivals. The interview changed everything. For the first time, Ethan and Noah weren't pretending. There was no contract to hide behind. No script. No staged smiles. Just them. Oddly enough, life became quieter. The media finally stopped chasing scandals. Brands loved their honesty. Even living together felt different. One Saturday morning, Ethan walked into the kitchen. Noah was making pancakes. You can cook. I've always been able to cook. You nearly burned down our kitchen. That was character development. Ethan laughed. I'll allow it. As Noah flipped another pancake, a delivery arrived. There wasn't supposed to be a package, Ethan said. The courier smiled. Addressed to both of you. Inside the box was an old scrapbook. No sender. No note. Only faded photographs. Noah picked up the first one. His eyes widened. I know this place. Ethan looked over his shoulder. It was a youth content creators workshop from nearly 10 years earlier. Hundreds of teenagers had attended. He turned another page. His breath caught. There they were. A much younger Ethan. Standing beside. Noah. What? Noah blinked. We've met before. Neither spoke for several seconds. Page after page revealed more photos. The two of them sitting at the same table. Walking across the campus. Laughing with other students. Neither remembered any of it. Then a folded attendance sheet slipped from the scrapbook. Their names were side by side. Assigned partners. For the entire week. Ethan slowly looked at Noah. You were my teammate? Noah nodded slowly. I think. A faint smile appeared. I think we actually got along. Before either of them could say another word, a small envelope fell onto the floor. Inside was a handwritten letter. Across the front were 6 simple words. To Ethan and Noah, finally. They exchanged confused looks. Then Noah carefully unfolded the letter. The first sentence made both of them freeze. If you're reading this, it means you found your way back to each other. Noah unfolded the letter with careful hands. The handwriting was neat. Familiar somehow. He began reading aloud. If you're reading this, then fate finally stopped being stubborn. Ethan smiled. Who writes like that? Noah kept reading. During the workshop, everyone noticed how well you worked together. You challenged each other, but you also made each other laugh. I remember thinking you'd either become lifelong friends or spend years pretending not to care. Both of them fell silent. That sounded uncomfortably accurate. The letter was signed by Mrs. Harper, the workshop mentor. Ethan suddenly remembered her. The woman with the bright yellow hats. Noah laughed. And the endless motivational quotes. Memory after memory began returning. The scavenger hunt. Building a video project together. Late night brainstorming with the rest of the group. You stole my notebook, Ethan said. I borrowed it. For 3 days. You got it back. With coffee stains. They both laughed. Then Noah turned another page in the scrapbook. A small photo slipped out. It showed them sitting beneath a tree. Noah was smiling at Ethan. Not the teasing smile he wore now. A softer one. One Ethan had never seen before. Or maybe he had. He'd just forgotten. There was another note taped behind the photo. In faded ink it read, "You two look cute together." Signed by 3 classmates. Ethan groaned. They started shipping us in high school. Apparently. Noah chuckled. They had good instincts. Ethan nudged his shoulder. Don't get cocky. I'm trying not to. Their shoulders remained touching. Neither moved away. After a quiet moment, Noah spoke. I remember something. What? The last day. His smile faded. I came looking for you before everyone left. Ethan frowned. I wasn't there. I know. Noah looked down at the old photograph. I thought you left without saying goodbye. Ethan's eyes widened. My dad picked me up early. I didn't have a choice. The room fell silent. One misunderstanding. 10 years apart. Neither knew whether to laugh or cry. Just then, Ethan noticed one final envelope tucked into the back of the scrapbook. Unlike the others, it had never been opened. The envelope had Ethan's name written on the front. In Noah's handwriting. Neither of them spoke. Ethan carefully broke the seal. Inside was a single folded letter. The paper had yellowed with age. He unfolded it slowly. I don't remember writing this, Noah admitted. Ethan smiled faintly. You were 16. Noah nodded. Read it. Ethan took a quiet breath. Hey, Ethan. I know you're leaving before the closing ceremony, so I wanted to say goodbye. His voice softened. You're the first person I've met who argues with me this much and still makes me laugh. Noah covered his face. Oh no. Ethan kept reading. Maybe we'll meet again someday. If we do, don't pretend you don't remember me. The room was completely silent. At the bottom was one final line. P.S. I think I like you, but don't let it go to your head. Ethan lowered the letter. Neither of them knew what to say. After a long moment, Noah laughed weakly. I really wrote that. You really did. I was brave back then. You were. Noah rubbed the back of his neck. Apparently I got worse with age. Ethan stepped closer. So did I. Their eyes met. No cameras. No audience. No pretending. Just the two of them. Noah reached out, gently brushing a loose strand of hair away from Ethan's forehead. His fingers lingered for a heartbeat. You know? What? I don't think we were ever rivals. Ethan smiled. I think we were just two idiots with terrible timing. Noah laughed. That sounds more accurate. Without thinking, Ethan closed the small distance between them. Their foreheads rested together. A quiet, intimate moment. Neither rushed it. Neither wanted to. Then Ethan whispered, if we had met again sooner. Noah smiled. I would have fallen for you sooner. Ethan's cheeks warmed. So, Noah took his hand. Our contract ends tomorrow. Ethan looked down at their joined hands, then back into Noah's eyes. He already knew his answer. But before either of them could speak, Claire burst through the front door. Breathless. They've scheduled your divorce appointment for 9 tomorrow morning. The room fell silent. Chapter 6. The divorce that never happened. 9 o'clock arrived far too quickly. Neither Ethan nor Noah had slept much. The divorce papers sat untouched on the kitchen table. 2 pens rested beside them. Neither had been picked up. Noah stared at the documents. I hate those papers. Ethan nodded. They're ruining my morning. Before either of them could say more, Claire and James walked in. You ready? James asked. No one answered. The drive to the courthouse was unusually quiet. For once, there were no jokes. No playful arguments. Just nervous glances. When they arrived, reporters were already waiting. Cameras flashed the moment they stepped out. Are you getting divorced? Was the romance fake? Any comment? Noah reached for Ethan's hand. Without thinking, Ethan intertwined their fingers. The shouting grew louder. Inside the courthouse, the clerk smiled politely. Mr. Carter. Mr. Brooks. She placed the divorce forms on the desk. If you'll sign here, your marriage will be legally dissolved. Silence. The pen was right in front of Noah. He didn't touch it. Instead, he looked at Ethan. I can't. Ethan's heart skipped. You can't. Noah shook his head. I've spent 6 months pretending to be your husband. A small smile appeared, and somewhere along the way, his voice softened. I forgot I was pretending. The room became still. Claire smiled to herself. James quietly looked away, giving them privacy. Ethan laughed under his breath. You picked the worst place to confess. I know. I had a better speech planned. I know. I forgot all of it. Ethan stepped closer until only a few inches separated them. You talk too much. I've been told. You also steal my coffee. Only sometimes. And you're still unbelievably annoying. I've heard that too. A slow smile spread across Ethan's face. But he reached up and straightened Noah's slightly crooked tie. I'd rather spend the rest of my life arguing with you than a single day without you. Noah's eyes widened. The clerk quietly slid the divorce papers back into her folder. She had a feeling they wouldn't be needed. Then Noah took Ethan's hand again. This time, neither of them planned on letting go. The courthouse erupted into chaos. Reporters had somehow learned the papers were still unsigned. Microphones were everywhere. Mr. Brooks. Mr. Carter. Are you staying married? Neither answered. Instead, Noah turned toward Ethan. So, I never got to ask you properly. Ethan folded his arms. You've had 6 months. I know. And somehow you still forgot your speech. I panic around handsome people. Ethan laughed. You're impossible. That's not a no. The reporters watched in stunned silence. Noah reached into his jacket pocket. Claire blinked. You had a ring this whole time? I've had it for weeks. James groaned. And you waited until the courthouse? I wanted perfect timing. You have terrible timing. I've been told. The crowd chuckled. Noah ignored everyone else. His eyes never left Ethan. I know our first wedding was an accident. He smiled. I know our vows were a complete disaster. Ethan nodded. They were pretty awful. They really were. But this part. Noah took Ethan's hand. I want to get right. He slipped a simple silver band onto Ethan's finger. No cameras. No contracts. No pretending. His voice softened. Just us. Ethan looked down at the ring. It wasn't flashy. It wasn't expensive looking. It was simple. Exactly the kind of ring he'd choose himself. You remembered. Noah smiled. You once said simple things last the longest. I actually said that. You say a lot when you're half asleep. Ethan shook his head, smiling. You listen? I always listen. For a moment, the world disappeared. There were no reporters. No headlines. No audience. Only Noah. Ethan gently cupped Noah's face. You know? What? Our first kiss was supposed to happen months ago. Noah's ears turned pink. I was waiting for permission. You really are hopeless. I've accepted that. Ethan closed the distance. Their lips met in a soft, lingering kiss. Warm. Unhurried. Just long enough to say everything words couldn't. When they pulled apart, the crowd burst into applause. Someone shouted, "Best love story on the internet." Noah smiled. No. He looked at Ethan. The best love story in my life. 1 year later, Ethan woke to the smell of something burning. He opened one eye. Noah. No answer. He sighed and followed the smoke to the kitchen. Noah stood in front of the stove wearing an apron that read "World's Best Husband." The frying pan, however, strongly disagreed. Ethan folded his arms. Should I call the fire department now, or wait another minute? Noah looked over with an innocent smile. I wanted to surprise you with breakfast. You surprised the smoke alarm instead. Right on cue. Beep, beep, beep. They both laughed. After rescuing what little breakfast remained, they settled onto the balcony with coffee. The morning sun painted the city gold. Noah reached across the table and intertwined their fingers. You know? A year ago we were signing divorce papers. And now I'm wondering if I should make pancakes every Sunday. Ethan smiled. Let's not get carried away. They laughed together. Their phones buzzed at the same time. Claire had sent a single message. Turn on the television. Confused, Noah grabbed the remote. The morning news appeared. The host smiled brightly. And today's winner of Couple Creators of the Year. A dramatic pause. Noah Carter and Ethan Brooks. The screen filled with clips from their journey. The arguments. The interviews. The candid smiles. The courthouse kiss. Even the old workshop photograph. Ethan looked at Noah. We've come a long way. Noah nodded. From rivals. To roommates. To husbands. Ethan squeezed his hand. My favorite part was choosing you. Noah's smile softened. My favorite part was realizing I never wanted to let you go. Ethan leaned in and kissed him gently. Slow, warm, certain. When they pulled apart, Noah rested his forehead against Ethan's. So, if we accidentally got married again. Ethan laughed. I'd still keep you. Noah grinned. Good. Why? Because I plan on annoying you for the next 50 years. Ethan smiled. I'll be disappointed if you stop. Outside, the city buzzed with another ordinary day. Inside, two former rivals sat hand in hand, grateful that one ridiculous mistake had rewritten both their lives. Sometimes, the best love stories don't begin with destiny. Sometimes, they begin with a rivalry, too many drinks, and an accidental I do.
And that brings us to the end of the story. This is Smiles That Linger, where every story leaves something behind. The story may be over, but the smile doesn't have to be. Until next time, let it linger. And if this story brought a smile to your face, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Thank you for listening.